Bully lovers, how you doing? It's episode 15 of the Bull-NA-ChinaShop podcast. Put a blog up on the website today, bull-na-chinashop.com. Put a blog up today talking about a little bit of my views of kind of some things that are being thrown around wrongfully, misused, misrepresented. So I just want to read a little something to you this afternoon, this evening. Sometimes I don't realize you can listen to this shit whenever you want. It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. If you want to wake up at 2 in the morning and you cannot go back to sleep and you think my moronic ranting will help you get back to sleep, listen to it then. You're on a long drive, have a listen. Sit down with me, have a convo. It's kind of one-sided. I get it. You get it. Here we go. Some say the biggest problem in the dog world today, or any other point in the last 100 years for that matter, is kennel blindness. I said that I agree, very close to correct, but not exactly how I see it. The biggest problem I see among all enthusiasts of all experience levels is misuse of select terms, and they get thrown around by members of the dog community of all experience levels as well. Some may indeed understand the terminology they use, but hundreds, sometimes thousands of people watching them on social media may not understand and then use the terminology to other low-level or inexperienced individuals, further pushing the misuse along. Terms like breeder or kennel are both used way too much and misused more than anything else dog people say. The term breeder is attached to every Tom, Dick, and Harry who own a dog, or two or three who all live in the house, and the oldest one's 2 years old. The term I would use to describe this scenario, and many other like it, is pet owner. Just because you own a few dogs that happen to get pregnant when you allow them to be in the same room while the female is in season does not in any way make you a breeder. The same way having 4 crates in a garage lined up with 6-month-old discount price puppies in them, who never see the daylight, and does not in any way mean you run or operate a kennel. Is there anything wrong with having a few dogs and being a pet owner who also happens to have quality puppies available once a year? Not at all. But know your lane. Play your role. You can produce some very nice breeding stock with a few well thought out and well planned purchases, and the respect will be there if it's earned. But there are levels to everything in life, from novice to master. You must know where you fit in and what the requirements of each level are. Another term being misused for the past 20 years or so is structure. The generic use of the word structure has been used and passed down through the years and generations. So now most people literally think structure has 3 components only: feet, tail, and top line. The most common answer I see when people are being asked what they prefer in a bull breed is structure, quote unquote structure. When I ask people what they mean by the term structure, they most commonly say, quote unquote, tight feet, quote unquote, no kinks, quote unquote, flat top line. Also, most of the time followed by, I hate easty-westy feet and high rears. Without taking into consideration anything but those 3 things, that's where it ends as far as structure for most people. It seems without knowing it, most people automatically focus on what they see to be the faults of the dog, which they may have picked up from a judge they admire or passed down from a breeder they look up to. They see nothing but certain traits they consider to be flaws, and won't consider the rest of the dog because of these things. Maybe they are reading the written standard and seeing the traits that are written down as faults. And some of these faults are the same traits they had in their mind as faults already. So it's easier to focus on these things. Focusing on the faults comes primarily from a school of thought called fault judging, where the value of the dog is based on whatever you consider to be faults. However, most of the time these are structural faults that people focus on because they are the easiest to see. The more important thing to focus on is the details in the traits the dog needs to carry to fit its individual breed type. For bull breeds in particular, there are certain traits dogs are expected to carry. Speaking directly about American bullies, it is easy to be able to read the written standard and see that certain dogs have structural faults like weak pasterns or splayed feet or an underbite. These are all things the standard's very clear about. What is more difficult to understand is that every breed has certain characteristics required of the breed, also made very clear in each breed's written standard. Again, referring to the American Bully, traits like blocky head or deep stop or barrel rib cage or round bones are all called for in the standard and sought after in the show ring.